talk a little bit about the retention between, obviously a gun and a light bearing gun, because don't they the retention's different?
The retention is different. So, like on a regular gun, if you have like a 1911, something with a thin metal trigger guard, it's got a sharp edge. The retention is going to be much different than, say, something like a Glock or a Smith & Wesson M&P, which has a fairly rounded edge on the inside of the trigger guard. So, like the Smith & Wesson came out with their aluminum M&P frame. Technically, those will fit in a regular holster. The retention is going to be completely different. So, you really need to design the holster around that aluminum gun because they changed the trigger guard. Same with the SIG P320 and the AXG series. They changed just enough of that trigger guard that it will work with some holsters, but not all. It will not work with our holsters unless it's on a wild end of one spec. So that's what you have to take into account. And then
Now,
light bearing.
does the retention on light bearing guns, is the light the retention point, or is it still the trigger guard?
Most modern companies, it's the light. Some of the older guns, what they'd actually use is the ejection port.
Okay.
So that's why you see some of those older holsters where it's formed in and people complain about really bad slide wear because you got a lot of carbon stuff near that area and that will build up dust, debris.
And so if your lights have different specs, then of course.
And when I say lights have different specs, I'm talking about like the TLR7 for the Glock 43X48, the TLR7 sub actually. I'm saying that one light has different specs. I'm not just saying all the difference of the four models of TLR7.
That's rough.
Yeah.